Hello, boys and girls. I wanted to make this video tonight to talk about the current state of arm wrestling. And I wanted to ask you a question, all of you. Are you trying to be elite? Are you thinking that you're going to be maybe the best in the world one day? Are you a super heavyweight that thinks they're going to be the number one in the world, period, overall? How are you going to get there? How are you going to do it? Now, of course, proper diet, proper exercise, years and years and years of hard work, and obviously killer genetics all play a part. But in this age, this day and age of our sport that we all love, it's almost a requirement. Notice I said almost. It's almost a requirement that you have to be on something: sauce, juice, steroids, pancakes. However you cut it, it's still the same shit. And then there's even levels of that. You can take super physiological doses of testosterone, maybe mix a little bit of Deca in there or Tren. Then you can go all out like the Eastern Europeans and start taking massive doses of HGH and whatever the hell else they're pumping into their system. I mean, and just take a look at Levon from 2014 till now. It's only a 7 to 8 year difference, and the man went from 178 pounds to 430 at his heaviest. You don't do that naturally. And I don't mean sitting on the couch eating Cheetos 430 either. I mean rock solid. Sure, he's got some BMI to him, but pretty much rock solid, move mountain strength type of, weight. You don't do that naturally. I don't care what your genetics are. It doesn't happen. So before any, wannabes start stepping up in the comment section, it doesn't happen. You don't grow the size of your wrist by whatever amount of inches he did to get to an 11.1 inch circumference without taking HGH. HGH grows everything in the body: your tendons, your ligaments, your bones, but your internal organs too. Now, the reason why I said almost, if you're a lighter weight person, um, you might, well, let's just put it this way: the rate at which it's needed drops significantly the lighter you get. Um, there's, I would say, the ratio of natural pullers is much greater the lighter you go than the heavier. We live in an age of giants. Just about, if not all, elite or even close to elite super heavyweights are all on something. You hear Monster Michael Todd talk about the fact that, up until 2 years ago or whatever, he was only on TRT, which, for those of you who don't know, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. Okay? That is somebody like myself who is aging, might have low testosterone, which I don't know. I go get tested. They say, hey, you're really, really low. And then I turn around and say, can you set me to like mid norm or high normal for a male? So you're still within normal specs. That's TRT. I actually have no problem with that. If you're within normal ranges on your testosterone, even if you're 50 and it's a 20-year-old normal, it's still normal. So I have no problem with that. Like if that's all you're doing, literally I have zero problem with that. And I don't think anybody else should have a problem with it either, honestly. But and again, as long as you're within normal, that's something that everybody can achieve without chemicals. A 20-year-old or an 18-year-old more than likely is going to be at the same level of testosterone as you. It's just that you're older and you need a little bit of chemical help to get to the same level. It's not going to just, make you massive and make you godlike in strength. No, you're going to be just as strong as, as you were back in your 20s. So that's all it's going to do. It's going to basically hold time in your 20s or 30s instead of your 40s or 50s. Whereas HGH, Tren, Deca, blah, 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 name it, that will literally make you superhuman compared to what you would be. Um, and I hear that all the time. Steroids doesn't give me an advantage. The fuck it doesn't, dude. Like, seriously, the fuck it doesn't. The simple science is this: it allows you to recover faster. It allows you to build more muscle fibers every time you tear them down. Because when we work out, we tear our muscles on a microscopic level, and our bodies send in basically more muscle fibers. And I'm doing this completely. This is completely like generic. Okay, there's much more scientific descriptions, but basically, this is what happens when you do a workout, a hard workout. You tear down muscle fibers. You put micro tears in your muscles, and then your body sends in more because it's like, oh, it's damaged, and it just gets bigger and better and all of that. Well, there's caps to that. When you do it with steroids, you recover much quicker, which means you can work out more, which means you can work out heavier. Now, you have to do it smart. You have to know what you're doing. There's a way to just screw up everything. I mean, no offense, because Devin's one of my heroes, but look at Devin. He packed on 15-20% extra strength in 6 months. Even somebody with 30 years worth of experience under his belt, it was too much too quick. And honestly, that's why he tore his bicep. Besides the fact that Levon's a fucking truck. But all the years that he's been pulling against all the monsters he's been pulling, he's never had an injury like that I know of. And all of a sudden, he hops on some serious shit and he gets an injury like that. It's just too much too quick. But if you're smart about it, I apologize, my allergies are killing me. If you're smart about it, sure, yeah, you can really, really go places. And of course, your genetics play a part in that too. There's hyper responders, there's very low responders, there's average responders. But no matter what, it's going to give you an advantage. All you have to do is look at the people that we love to watch. Monster Michael Todd, Devin Larratt, all of them, okay? Both of them, I should say. MMT, okay, Monster Michael Todd, was sitting around 260s, 270s for a lot of his career. He bulked up a few times, but we seen him at 300 pounds and he was just squishy, right? When he faced Gennady, that was... I saw the Instagram photos. He was 290-something pounds, ripped. Sure, a little bit fluffier than he is now, but ripped. You don't do that at 48, 49 years old without chemical help, and a lot of it. Devin, when he faced Michael, it was the first time that he really hopped on the juice. A lot of it. I don't know what he was doing, or if anything, beforehand. Hopped on it, and he blew up like a balloon, right? Because he used a lot of it. But then he got a little bit smarter about it. Oh, but you just said he got an injury because of it. Yeah, because he went too much. But he got a little bit smarter. You see how he leaned down but still gained weight. That was all muscle. He didn't put on fat for Levon. That was all muscle. He put on 10, 20, 25 pounds worth of muscle for Levon. Okay? Here's my thing. I hear people talking about they want the sport to be Olympic. They want the sport to be mainstream. Every single reason why the sport would become mainstream today or Olympic today, as far as the popular pullers, Devin Larratt, Monster Michael Todd, Toddzilla, Levon, go down the list. Okay? Those are the big boys, obviously. Every one of them is on shit. Now, are they going to remain on shit? I have no idea. But every single one of them is on shit. Every one of them goes away. As soon as this sport becomes super mainstream or Olympic, every single one of them goes away. So then what do we have? And some people would say, the purists would say, well, then we have real arm wrestling. Right, but the only reason why arm wrestling is watched to the degree it's watched right now is because of people like them. The land of the giants. Watching people like Levon snap people's arms. That's what people want. Just go on any of the forums and look at, the Eastern Europeans. They don't give two shits that 90% of their athletes are on shit. And that's really the only thing that makes them, well, I shouldn't say the only thing. But honestly, I don't know. I don't find anything super impressive about injecting yourself in the ass or popping pills in order to crush people. I just don't. I never have. I never will. Now, if I have low T and they tell me that if I wanted to, I could get on testosterone replacement therapy and all, I do it in a heartbeat to get set at a normal range. I would never go super physiological. I would never do HGH. I would never do any of that shit. And I get it because I'm not gonna try for the top. But if you are trying for the top, that's a really tough choice. And I think it's a shitty choice. I think it sucks that you're put in that position. That's what bothers me. I think that you should just step up to the table as natural can get. And again, TRT does not count as far as I'm concerned. As natural can get, and just see where you stand and let the cream rise to the top. Some people are gifted. That's just the way it works. But hard work can defeat genetics. It can. But hard work isn't going to defeat genetics and steroids. It's just not going to happen. Again, the heavier you get. Some of the lighter guys, like I tend to believe that Coach Ray is natty. I tend to believe that like Giannis Amalis, maybe Hellraiser, and there's a whole bunch of people that are in the lighter weights that are most likely natural. Not saying they are because I don't know them, but most likely. And then the heavier you go, more than likely you're going to run into more and more people that are on the shit. Now, I happen to know personally amateurs that are 150 pounds that are on the shit. And from what I hear, it's a list of shit. There's no need for that. There's just none. You're going to kill yourself. These people have families. You're going to kill yourself. For what? Seriously, for what? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And don't tell me it's for the love of combat or the love of this or the love of that. I love combat. I'm a man. I stand on my own 2 feet. Everything that is awesome, that is superhuman about any of those people, all came out of a vial or in a pill. How does that impress you? I don't know. So yeah, I guess my question is to all of you out there that maybe thinking about one day trying for the top of your weight class or the top of the world in arm wrestling. What are you going to do? And we can get into the deeper conversations about SARMs and even peptides and all that. I don't really believe that that's going to give you so much of an advantage that you're going to become superhuman. No, I'm talking about mainly the hard shit. I'm talking about, HGH, trends, super physiological doses of testosterone, and whatever other cocktails are out there that I don't know about. I'm not claiming to be an expert. But there's definitely cocktails out there, and there's definitely people abusing the shit out of it. So again, for those of you that are trying to be elite, for those of you that are trying to take on the top of the world, especially in the heavier weight classes, what are you going to do? Because it's almost impossible for you to reach the top without some sort of chemical enhancement. And then for those of you that want this sport to take off, and those of you that want maybe this to be an Olympic sport or, super mainstream where there's leagues and all of that, back in the mix. How do we do that? Because we have to do it tested. And if we do it tested, I would venture to say 30 to 40, maybe even 60% of the current most popular arm wrestlers and top arm wrestlers in the world will all vanish overnight. And I've already heard the idea put out there, how about a tested, a natural league and an untested league? It's already out there. I forget what it's called, but it's already out there. I forget what it's called. That should prove the point. Nobody cares. So am I just in the minority that I actually care about, fairness and people's health and shit like that? Or, or am I onto something here? Again, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a good night, day, afternoon, whenever you're watching. God bless.